Hello everyone, welcome to this update video. So we will be looking at the latest for potential tropical cyclone 5. So that is the designation given to the disturbance just east of the Caribbean. And now some showers associated with it are already starting to move in to the Lesser Antilles. So for some areas, there could be some showers and even thunderstorms throughout today. And in addition, there's another tropical wave moving through the Caribbean. We can see that little cluster of showers near Jamaica. And we're going to be looking at the rainfall forecast for today for the Caribbean and surrounding areas on the whole. But as I said, the focus is going to be on the potential tropical cyclone, as it is expected to become a tropical storm soon. And also, additional watches have been posted. So other parts of the northeastern Caribbean are now under a tropical storm watch. So let's get straight into it. Here we are looking at the latest forecast from the National Hurricane Center. This is the forecast cone, and we can see that by tomorrow afternoon, that is when the NHC is expecting that the potential tropical cyclone will actually become a tropical cyclone. So it's not quite there at that status just yet. It hasn't fully reached the threshold. But because of the conditions expected in the northeastern Caribbean, that is why a tropical storm watch is in effect, even though the system in and of itself hasn't fully acquired the tropical depression or even tropical storm status. But again, that is expected by tomorrow. And as we head into later this week, go into Thursday, it is expected to intensify into a hurricane. So once it crosses through the northeast Caribbean and moves back into the Atlantic waters, it is expected to start intensifying even more. It could become a hurricane. And Bermuda will definitely have to be keeping watch for this weekend, as it could be close enough to actually unleash dangerous impacts. But as of right now, the potential tropical cyclone is moving west at a 25-mile-per-hour pace, and its maximum sustained wind is up to 30 miles per hour. So on the satellite imagery at a closer view here, you can see it not very consolidated right now. However, it is producing more activity compared to last evening. So as it approaches, as it moves to the Caribbean and moves through the northeast Caribbean, we should see it looking better and better organized. However, let's go ahead and talk more about the forecast here, where you can see the model track guidance, and none of these is keeping this offshore. But the good news is that it is not developing very quickly. It's not rapidly intensifying or anything like that. It's really just trying to really get itself together. So the tracks are kind of very tightly packed for the short term, for the next 12 to 24 hours. We can see them not being all over the place here. But then as the system would move into the Caribbean, is it going to curve sooner or later? We can see these tracks being a little bit more spreaded on the graphic here. So we can definitely see some shifts in the track, and that can play a huge role in the magnitude of impacts that the different islands are going to be expected. But seeing that there is that tropical storm watch in effect, tropical storm conditions are going to be possible for all of the areas highlighted. So Guadeloupe, St. Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat, Antigua, Barbuda, Anguilla, Saba, St. Eustatius, St. Martin, St. Barthélemy, the British Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands, as well as Puerto Rico, Vieques, and Culebra. Those areas are all under a tropical storm watch. As it pertains to intensity, let's look at the latest here. So most models are definitely expecting a tropical storm eventually by the next 36 to 48 hours. So that is a time when models show that, hey, this is likely to reach tropical storm status at this time, eventually a hurricane. And of course, as I said, once it is going to be making its way through the northeastern Caribbean and moving back into water, that is likely going to be the time it intensifies into a hurricane. So hurricane is not expected in the short term. Again, the good news, this thing is not developing very, very fast. Nonetheless, that does not mean there won't be those dangerous impacts, because there's going to be a lot of heavy rain from this. In the areas under a tropical storm watch, there could be a lot of heavy rain that will trigger flooding, as well as those gusty winds and the storm surge. The storm surge is likely to be more of a problem for the Virgin Islands and even Puerto Rico when the system would actually be a tropical storm, because even though right now the tropical storm watch is in effect for the Leeward Islands as well, it is not a very strong system, as I said. So as it gains more strength, the magnitude of impacts would become a lot worse. And even though it's a very high rainfall total, is probably up to 8 inches expected in parts of Puerto Rico as a result of the passage of the system. So that is the latest on potential tropical cyclone 5. Again, it is expected to become a tropical storm by tomorrow afternoon. Now, in terms of the rainfall forecast on a whole for the Caribbean, let's go on to that. Here we're looking at what Euro is showing for the rest of today and into the very early morning hours of tomorrow. And the more color we see on the map indicates more rainfall. So we can see all these red shadings around for the Lesser Antilles. So the impacts, as I stated earlier, those showers associated are already moving on shore, bringing those inclement weather conditions to parts of the Lesser Antilles. So that's going to be the story through today, and eventually as the system closes in, and even with the periods of heavy rain, there could already be some instances of flooding across some areas. So please stay safe, guys. If you should encounter any flood waters, turn around, don't drown. And seeing that there's a tropical storm watch in effect for the aforementioned areas, there should be those preparations finalizing for impacts. So the main impact though is going to be in terms of the water, specifically the rainfall totals that could cause significant flooding across some areas, especially the more vulnerable areas, guys. So please listen to your local officials and do not take any unnecessary risks as the system approaches. For the Virgin Islands, a few spots in Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, which comprises Haiti and the Dominican Republic, there could be some scattered showers around. Similar thing for parts of the Bahamas, especially the southern Bahamas and near the Turks and Caicos. A few spots in Cuba, the Cayman Islands, and in Jamaica. As I mentioned, there's a tropical wave passing by, so that will likely help out to enhance the rainfall and thunderstorm activity across the island today, especially in the afternoon hours. Again, with those quick, heavy downpours in the afternoon, there could be some cases of flooding. It may not be very significant, but it could certainly happen today. Then for Central America, it's been generally active in the area. It will remain active, especially in the afternoon. Same story in Northern South America, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname. And then for the ABC Islands, we're seeing a little dry pocket there, not much color around at all. So it's likely to be a pretty sunny day today. And so guys, that is basically what I wanted to share with you in this update video regarding potential tropical cyclone 5, the impacts expected, the additional watches in effect, and the rainfall activity across the Caribbean on a whole and what's expected throughout today. So I will continue to keep you posted as necessary, and I may post an additional update video for today later this evening, so stay tuned for that. And that's basically it for this update video. So I do hope you found it to be informative. But if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll respond to you when I have the chance to do so. And remember to always be weatherwise.